Say a few words. How was it? How are you feeling now?
I don't think we've ever played in a place that's as sort of nice and open space as today. It's a really beautiful area here, and it's nice that from stage you could actually see the hills and the countryside.
It's a little bit like a dream.
Yes.
Landscape with a castle to the side of the stage, and very friendly Polish and international audience was there. So we had a good time.
Very well. We're very happy. I love your high notes, and I wanted to ask you about your musical background. So can you say a few words about it?
Well, there's so many. I mean, sort of my earliest musical memories is always the music my parents listened to when we'd go somewhere on holiday. The cassette tapes they'd play in the car, and that was a lot of Austrian and German new wave music, like quite poppy new wave music. I think that's always had a big influence on me for sure. Lots of reverb on the voice and kind of fun, spontaneous texts. And I just took it from there. We both listen to so many different kinds of music. It's almost hard to say which one of them has had the most influence. Really, it's really anything from classical music to hard hip hop to kind of modern club music. So it's a very wide range in a way, and we've always tried to incorporate all those influences in our music.
All right. And about your performances, because it is said that sometimes they are more like performance art. So I'm curious, how long does it take you, or how do you prepare for your shows? Do you plan everything, or you are more spontaneous on the stage? How is it?
It really depends on where we play and how we feel and the songs we're going to play. I think you're probably referring to the last album, which was a concept album all about voodoo, so it had a ritual in the concert.
Yeah.
But the new album has a completely different feel to it. It's much more about dancing and being free, so it's a little bit more relaxed in terms of performance. It's about being glamorous, and it's more glitter, more gold and less dark. The album before was very dark and had a different feeling. So we tried to make a show that goes with the music. So it wouldn't make sense for me to be the voodoo priestess singing songs like. One of our single, Matahari, was a big influence for the new look, a little bit of the show, because it's a strong character dressed up like with all this gold and jewelry and very wild woman. So she was, I'd say, the inspiration for this new stage show.
All right. But how do you prepare yourself for the show? How do you spend last 10 minutes before a show, let's say? What do you do?
Usually smoking cigarettes and drinking.
The last
We've
10
never
minutes,
done any
I think.
kind of voice exercise or anything like that. It's just
You.
the truth is it's a rare occasion today that we play during daytime and in such a sort of open space. Normally we're playing smaller, sweaty clubs where of course you get more into the kind of mood of the evening. So today was particularly different because everything felt so quiet and light in a way that we had to adjust to that. But no, we're usually quite relaxed and just do whatever it takes to relax us.
And I think the real preparation of the show is not 10 minutes. 10 minutes before, you just gather the energy and just think about having fun. And that's always what we say to each other. Let's just have fun, whatever happens. But the real preparation is happening months before, when he doesn't, but I do voice exercises, and I do physical work, and I do a lot of dancing and body work, so just to feel a good energy, so that in the last 10 minutes I don't need to do anything, because I know the energy will be inside of me when I go on stage.
Alright, so we are on the stage, and what if something goes wrong? So how do you deal with some problems on the stage?
We usually just go with it because there's no use in, you know, stopping what you do and starting over again. So, you know, just take it as it comes. And we've had, you know, on many occasions things happen, like guitars drop out or my sampler fell off stage and, you know, the track stopped. And, okay, in that case, you can't actually continue performing the song. But when small things happen, it's just like, okay, that's the way it is, just like be
So must go
spontaneous
on.
about it. Exactly.
I think the key is humor. We always deal with it with humor. You know, we recently had a concert in Berlin, and we had a lot of problems with the sound. Like the voice would just disappear and then come back, and everyone knew it was not our fault, and there was nothing we could do really at that stage. And we started making jokes about it, and actually you went crazy, and
I just think in general, I think there's
it was
nothing.
fun still, yeah.
But there's nothing more fun than watching a band having trouble on stage. You know? I mean, sometimes that's more entertaining than watching a perfect concert that's choreographed, because it makes it human in a way. It's like, okay, they're being put in a shit position, and how do they deal with it? So that's how I try to deal with it. Just
Okay.
make the best.
Alright, so since we are at the festival, so maybe you can tell us, is there anything special you like about festivals generally?
I don't like them at all, actually.
No!
That's why we rarely
not
play
supposed to
festivals.
say that.
Because
So why don't
today,
you like festivals?
no, today was very nice, but I prefer shows where, you know, you just know exactly what's happening. You kind of know that it's your audience that you're playing to. Plus, at so many festivals, it can get very messy with just, you know, loads of people playing, lots of running around, and no sound checks and any kind of thing. So I actually don't like festivals, but today was an exception, of course. Today was very nice, and
I
everyone
like
took good care of us. So
So maybe you can tell us why do
I
you
like
like festivals?
because I like the atmosphere. You know, it's a very different atmosphere to a single concert. I like this gathering of people who are all music lovers, and they're all coming together to listen to their favorite bands, and this creates a really nice sense of community. And it's, you don't know anybody, but they can be your friends in 5 minutes because you're all here for the same reason. And I like this sense of community and the spirit. People are always happy and friendly, you know, because it's not like a dirty club or a concert hall where you get there and you watch and you get drunk and then you go, and it's like it's a whole experience. So I think that's nice.
Okay, so now let's switch the topic a little bit and let's talk a few words about your latest album. And I've read that it's pulsating with raw passion and desire for anthemic melodies. Anthemic, I think it's quite serious mood. And you said it's more like about dancing and something, so...
no, I think it's because on our last album, what we really did was create something very intimate in a way. We used a lot of, you know, acoustic guitar and kind of quiet songs and quiet beats, and it was more about this kind of capturing a different kind of energy to the one we wanted to capture on this one, which is a much more dance oriented, electronic, kind of big sounds, which hopefully are anthemic. I don't know how
Big
to
production, I
define
think that's
that
what we
precisely,
meant, a
but-
big production and something really rich and solid, you know, because the last album was very raw and like...
It was more introvert, whereas this was more, you know, about wanting to, you know, make people dance or move things. And
All right,
Yeah.
and you also, I've also read that it's a study of human passion, from the most uplifting to the gloomiest. So, what is for you the most uplifting human passion,
Well, love.
and which is the gloomiest?
Love.
Also,
That's why the album is called Affair of the Heart.
yes.
Because love is the one emotion that takes you through that journey, you know, and it's, of course, it's a very common subject for songs, but there will be forever stories to tell about love. You can never run out of ideas, and everyone knows what you're talking about because it's a universal subject. So the album is an emotional journey because we look at different ways of approaching love and feeling love and being disappointed or happy or everything.
That all sounds very romantic. And personally, are you romantic people?
I'd like to think I am.
Yes.
Actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, romantic is it's a big word, you know, and but it's hard to make music and not be romantic, I think.
So about the production of the album itself, was it hard for you this time to create this album in comparison to the earlier one?
It's always hard. It always ends up being a really difficult birth just because we tend to spend a lot of time on it and go through different phases. In the beginning it's all very exciting and you just write the songs and make the first rough recordings. Those are that's a stage I really love, and then comes the part where you have to, all the subtleties come in, where you mix things, where you develop songs further, and that always tends to be a very, very long journey. So on this album we decided to actually bring some people from the outside into it to help us with it, just because at some point we reached that point where we can't really deal with it anymore. So even though we're involved in every process, of course, even in the final one, we try to make it a bit easier on ourselves by getting some people to help us, which didn't necessarily make things easier always. Because it's difficult. It's like when it's such
more people, more problems.
Yes, and it's so personal. You know, the music we're making is so personal that how can anybody understand exactly what you're trying to make and make it better? You know, you go to people to kind of refine and bring that subtlety we're talking about to your music, and you realize that you have to explain to them exactly what's in your head, and nobody's inside your head, and nobody knows exactly what you want.
What you're thinking about, yes.
Yeah, so that's difficult.
All right, is there anything you want to tell us about you or to your fans? Any message? Some words?
Just be good, behave
Be
yourselves.
happy, enjoy
and,
being in love, romantic.